I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it has.
Okay. Right. Hi, Evie. Thanks very much for taking the time to speak to me today. As you know from our conversation, I'm just really keen to explore the opportunity that you've had around heading to America to study, and just keen just to get a little bit of insight from yourself of what that experience has been like, if that's okay. So welcome to the call. Um, Okay, so to begin with, are you okay just to um, go back a wee bit to the time where you've decided that America's going to be an option for you, and what helped with some of those decisions? What attracted you to going to study in America?
hmm So I was set on going to Sterling for a long, long time, and then so about no, like November before I came, I started I it was basically the weather was getting really bad in Scotland, and I realized in order to get the most out of my practice, it's it good weather makes it so much easier. So the weather was a
Yeah,
big factor because I was hitting in indoors and on mats and stuff, and you're not gonna reach your full potential doing that. So that was a big thing, and then also I like so I was kind of on the fence for a while. Me and my family wanted to at least explore the option and what schools are out there and what scholarships might be available because I didn't want to have that regret of not exploring it. So
yeah.
we got in contact with an agency and they set us up with a couple unis just to see what there was. But another reason why we decided to explore it was my coach, and because he went to America and did it all, and he was saying how much it helped him, um, and we spoke to a couple other girls that had been out there,
Hmm.
and how much it helped them, but also talking to um, the other side and people who had stayed and went to Sterling. So I think it's important to speak to people from both sides so you can gather your own opinion about it because you can, if you only hear people talking about America, they're going to be biased and stuff. So you need to
Yeah.
speak to both.
I think that's excellent guidance, especially if people are considering that journey. And actually, it's really important not to discount places. It's good to get all of the information so then you're making an informed decision. In terms of using the agent, did you find that helpful? In hindsight, would you do that again or not?
Um, yeah, I would again because you need a lot of time and a lot of resources to do it yourself. And I would always feel a bit of regret not having explored all the possibilities.
Yeah,
So, but I know a couple of girls have done it on their own and it's worked for them. But
yeah,
they do say it takes a lot of time because you have to email the unis directly, and that's a long process. Whereas um, going with an agency, it just speeds up the process a lot quicker.
yeah.
And yeah, I would definitely recommend going with one. Um, but like I would I would also encourage if you're not getting the amount of offers that you think you could get, or if you have a particular uni in mind, to like email them directly, or the coach DM'd me on Instagram, so you can do that as well.
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
yeah.
And in terms of you speaking to the uni, was there any preparation that you did in advance of like a conversation with a coach from one of the unis at all, Evie?
Yeah, so we had, I think I had 4 calls with them maybe, but I was really late compared to everyone else who goes through this journey. Like
Hmm.
usually it would take you 2 years, and it like you should take 2 years to do it and to do it properly. But didn't want to take a gap year. I
Hmm.
wanted to come out in 24, so we had to do it like very quickly, which is why we didn't have that many calls. Um, and Campbell was also in a position to like sign a player quickly as well. So in terms of the calls can be intimidating,
Hmm.
but once you get a couple going, you there is a format and how they go. So um, yeah, it's basically an interview. Like they're selling that the uni and you're selling yourself. So you need to just be confident and confident in what you're saying and have a couple of questions written down so that they know that you're interested and like
Hmm.
um, are being active. That you're being active in like finding out things as well. But they can be intimidating, but they're so important because you really need to speak to the coach and because you get an immediate impression on them and
Yeah,
what they look like and stuff. So
yeah. And that's good to hear. And it's also important for people to recognize that that's your opportunity as well to suss out that environment a little bit too, isn't
yeah,
it? It's not just them kind of addressing you, it's your ability to ask those questions. So super key to explore, like you mentioned that you did, talk to your network, ask about people's experiences, and build a bit of a bank of questions almost from that as well. And I think important to recognize that unlike the UCAS system that works in the UK, they don't have that in America. So it is very time dominant in terms of if you are applying on your own, you do apply to each single university separately. So you do need to have time to do that, which is super important.
yeah,
Okay. In terms of going to uni, I guess part of that piece was, I think, looking at finances and like opportunities that might be available. Were you able to ask questions about what the scholarship involved when you were offered it, Evie?
yeah, and that's very important because they might not be very clear, and that could be a bit of a red flag about the scholarship. So you need to ask like the important questions like what it includes. Um, but I'm trying to think about what I asked about it. Um, and then they send you through like a contract, and it's important to read all of that as well because there might be hidden bits that you don't know about and stuff like that.
Yeah, take time to read through that before
Yeah,
you sign anything. That's super important. And to understand any extra costs that might be involved. I think it's always good to explore that conversation. Okay, so that's you. You did your research, you spoke to the agent, you had an explore, you'd already talked within your network about opportunities in sterling and then other opportunities that might be available in the USA. You went through that process and thankfully Campbell ticked a lot of boxes for you. So that was a good opportunity to be able to sign with them. How did it feel once you'd accepted that offer, Evie?
yeah, I was so happy because you kind of like when because it's like there were no doubts about Campbell. Like it ticked, as you said, it ticked all my boxes. Um, and the others I'd had, there'd been like a couple of grey areas that I thought, well, I could make do, but like it's not ideal. But there was none of that with Campbell, so it was a big relief as well finding one because I was doing it in such short notice, and
Yeah.
being so lucky to have one um, that I love so much. So yeah, it's a good feeling.
Good. It's good to hear. And for people that don't know, where is Campbell?
North Carolina, so it's about an hour from Raleigh.
Hmm. And what's the weather like there then? Is the weather quite good for you
It,
being outdoors?
yeah, yeah. So just now it's starting to get cooler a bit. It was when I arrived, it was like 35 degrees, and now it's like 30s, like mid 20s. So it's like perfect golf weather. But there
Yeah.
has just been a hurricane, so
All right.
it's
Okay.
not
So
always ideal.
there's other things that you have to battle with. Okay. In terms of your
Yeah.
academic preparation, Evie, was there anything that you had to do with any of your studies so that you were eligible for the NCAA?
No, I don't think so. I know the SATs used to be a big thing, but after COVID, most schools got rid of them,
Yeah.
except from Florida.
Right.
So,
Okay.
or it might just be a couple of schools in Florida. But
Okay.
so yeah, I didn't have to take the SATs or anything. It was all down to my hires and advanced hires.
Yeah.
Uh, that was a big relief because obviously that's quite a lot of work to
Yeah. And I know
do and
from
stuff.
speaking to you on previous conversations, you worked really hard with your
Mhm.
studies and with your coursework and with your final assessments and stuff. You put a lot of energy and effort into that.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that paying off, which is good.
Mm.
Okay. Looking at preparation of you coming to the USA, I'm talking like I'm there. I'm not in America. Heading to the USA. What were some of the main tasks involved in terms of you being able to go to America, like getting your visa?
Yeah. I think this is where having an agent or being part of an agency is like so key because it's hard to do them all by yourself and because there is a lot of things that you need to get done and a lot of paperwork.
Hmm.
Um, but saying that the uni can also help you. Like if you have a good coach or assistant coach, they can also help you with the process. But the visa is the biggest one, mainly because you have to go to London or I don't know, is it Dublin? Maybe.
I think it's
So you have to.
Belfast.
Oh, Belfast, yeah.
Belfast
So you
to
have to go.
London, yeah.
Yeah, and then just to make sure you get that done, like quite early in advance, because it can be quite stressful if you don't do it. Like if it's getting closer and closer to the day you leave.
Hmm.
Um, the visa was the main one. There's also just a lot of like annoying paperwork that you
Hmm.
just need to get done. That can take quite a while, but yeah.
And during that time, obviously, there's a lot going on because you're in the build up to finishing up with exams, you're trying to get all the paperwork in and stuff like that. Was there, were you able to connect with anybody in the team, or did you know anybody at the college during that time? Were you able to build a bit of a rapport before you actually went there? And
Yeah.
second part of question, did you actually do a recce to the college before you
Oh
accepted,
yeah.
Evie?
Yeah, so I think one of the key things I wanted in the uni was to know someone either at the uni or in the golf team because
Yeah,
it's on like I can't stress enough how important it is because I know Jade from who's from Scotland as well, and she like has like my lifeline like when I got here, and also in the build up. She like you have so many questions, and you don't always want to be bothering the coaches with them. So
yeah,
having a teammate, and she gave me like so much insight into all of it. So I felt like I already knew like all the people here and like the environment I was going to be in. Um, and also it's just so reassuring like before you're going out knowing that you at least have someone just to
yeah.
like start you off. Yeah, it is so important. and so she helped me a lot with the paperwork and everything.
Hmm.
And I went out and visited. So I signed in December and I went out in January,
Right,
like
okay.
um, early January, and visited a couple of schools. But I kind of already. Oh wait, sorry, I didn't sign until after. But I'd like had a couple of offers, so I went and visited those schools. But I kind of knew um, Campbell was like my favorite. But I just wanted. It's so important to go out and visit it just for um, like peace of mind that it is how they say it is, because they can say one thing, but actually when you get out there, you just get a sense of the atmosphere and the vibe and the people here.
Yeah,
Um, and it's just like the little things, like if the course is actually near the if it is possible to walk, or if you'll need a car, or like how far away is a grocery store, and like little things like that you need to find out, which will make like a big impact when you're here.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, and also meeting all of the team is very important, so you can start building relationships with them.
And were you able to do that when you did your recce? Did you get a bit of a feel of what the team was like?
Yeah, yeah. The Because I was quite confident I was gonna come here. It was more of like a team bonding thing. So like the assistant coach took us out to like an escape room, and I was able to like bond with the team that way, which was nice, and took us out for dinner.
Yeah.
Um, but the trips are really fun. Like you get treated so well, and like you're like royalty when you're there. Like they take you out to nice restaurants, so it's really fun going and seeing them all, and just
Yeah.
seeing like the different unis. It's really interesting.
Yeah. And it's interesting what you say, like you making your decision, you're aware of the things that you really want from a program and from a uni, from an academic standpoint. But until you're there, you don't get the vibe of it. And it's almost a gut
Yeah.
feel that you know that it's right, isn't it? Okay.
Mhm.
In terms of heading out, did you do any kind of independent life skill development that would help you to survive when you transition away from home?
Uh, um, I would have like mm, cooking, like kind of. I feel like is a big life skill, but I haven't needed to cook once because there's a there's a cafeteria. Um, I don't know, just starting to do things more independently,
Yeah,
like going out and like buying. I bought like all the stuff I needed for college on my own, like
yeah,
to start you off, like um, I don't know, just small things like that can
yeah.
help. Hmm.
Yeah, being more independent around managing your budget or your expenditure
Yeah,
and knowing what the really actually essentials are of what you're needing to take with you. Um,
yeah,
okay. In terms of you leaving home to come to go across to America, did you do any gatherings with friends and family? Did you do any of that kind of thing so that you could say bye? And what was that experience like?
yeah. It was hard. I had like the day before I left, all my family came down, because it was my birthday like a couple days after I'd arrived here, so we
Hmm.
kind of did like a birthday slash going away thing. So that was nice, and saying bye to everyone, and then I had a thing with my friends, like a farewell party kind of thing. But it is hard. That day is like probably the hardest part of it all, just because it seems so long until you're gonna be back. But saying that, like, but once I got on the plane, it was all excitement, and I'd forgotten basically about everything that happened
Yeah,
the day before. Um, so you kind of just have to go through it. But then it feels a long time, but I've like it's already been almost 7 weeks since I've
yeah,
been here, and it's gone so fast.
yeah.
Like, so it really just flies by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So settling into college, it's obviously not the first 6 months. You've not been there long enough, but what has surprised you the most, Stevie?
I think a good surprise is how I haven't like you don't really miss home that much, or it's just because you're so busy.
Yeah,
You don't have time to think about anything really. You're all in
yeah,
like all in golf, all in school. So that's been a good surprise. Um, but I'd say one of the big things has been the diet and the food here. It's like been the biggest difference. Um, like it's just so unhealthy. Like everything's fried. Like no fruit. Like I had the first 2 weeks, I kind of lived on like the American like diet, and I just realized I couldn't keep going like this. Like like fast food like every day, you can't
yeah,
like you soon realize it's not sustainable. Um, so yeah, I think just making like better choices in like for dinner and everything. Um, so food's a big one. What else? The weather probably
yeah,
because it was really hot when I first got here, and it took me maybe 2 weeks to get used to it. And it's like it is hard because we went straight into qualifying, um, to playing a lot of golf in like 35, 37-degree weather. It's
yeah.
hard. So yeah.
Definitely coming from Scotland, it's a huge difference, isn't it? And part of that piece is understanding your hydration strategy and how you can be best prepared for that. But like you say, you kind of have to go through it. Nothing prepares you. You have to transition into that environment, don't you?
Yeah.
But have the awareness to know that you need to do something slightly different to make sure that your well-being's in order, and you're looking after your body as well. Um, okay. In terms of getting there and arriving, are you in like a sports block of accommodation and do you share with anybody?
Yeah. So the hall that I'm in just now is like all freshmen female athletes. So that's quite nice. It's and they use this is like the nicest dorm on campus. So they
Hmm.
usually put you up in like it's a nice dorm that you're in because they treat athletes very well. They're like priority.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not really a thing to worry about. But um, I was before I left, I really wanted to have a room on my own, um, and that was quite a big thing for me. But once I got here, like I've got a roommate, and in the golf team as well. She's also a freshman, and like I wouldn't have it any other way, because like when sometimes like if when you're on your own, like you realize you just have more time to think, and then it's easier to get homesick and easier to think about home. But when you're in the room together, it's like you're just chatting and you don't really. It's just it's really nice, and you build like a good relationship together, and so you have someone really close in the golf team as well.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I would
Okay.
think don't be put off by like uh, having a roommate because it's very beneficial.
Yeah, really supportive it sounds like, Evie, which is really good to hear.
Mm.
Um, in terms of the golf program, what does that look like in terms of your practice, your training, things like that?
Yeah, so 3 days a week we have we have workouts from 7:30 till 8:30, and then I have practice from 2:30 till like really whenever, um, to like the whole afternoon, and then you have to have 1 day off, um, for like to fit into the NCAA like guidelines,
Hmm.
um, and then like when you're in season, you usually have qualifying at the weekend, or like every second weekend, depending on
Hmm.
what the schedule looks like. So it's very busy, but the practice, it's that's another difference. Like I've like always practiced on my own, and
Hmm.
like because there weren't many juniors at my club, so having like practicing with a team and like other people is an adjustment, but it's been really good, and it's a lot of fun because you do a lot of drills together and a lot of like competitive matches against each other. So yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how have you managed to balance the academic work as well, Evie? Has that slotted into the timetable, or do you have to catch up?
Yeah.
How does that work?
You have so my class is usually from 11 till 2, or on Tuesdays and Thursdays 9 till 12. So it's like in the morning. Um, and the classes are really easy compared to back home, but it's a lot of like homework and assignments and tests.
Hmm.
So it's so important to keep on top of that, because otherwise you won't, like, if you don't, you get attendance points and like your homework goes towards your grades. So if you don't
Okay.
do your homework, you will just fail the class, and then that can affect your golf as well. So you just have to keep on top of it really, and
Okay.
like using like at nights after practice to catch up on homework and stuff.
Yeah, okay. So it sounds like being organized and understanding the whole schedule's really important of where the hours fit and the time then that you have to do that homework and away from the classroom super important as well. If you were to be falling behind, is there somebody there that you could speak to? Like, is there support at the uni that can help you with that?
Yeah. So you have an athletic advisor who I'm just
Mm.
about to go see.
Yeah.
So you have a meeting with them once a week,
Hmm.
and they just go through all your classes and they check if you've done all your assignments and if there's anything that you're falling behind in, which is so helpful because it can, like, I've forgotten about a couple of assignments and then he's like reminded me of them. So it is
Yeah.
helpful. But you only get that for the first semester. But by then you're on top of it all.
Yeah, so that's the help put in place. And then by that time, you're into a routine, you understand how the academic stuff works and how that aligns with your golf practice. And for you as well, I guess, did you notice a difference in your energy when you were first there? Because you were kind of having to learn everything.
Yeah, the first couple of weeks are hard because you're also trying to make friends and like socialize, and um like you have to be like extra like outgoing and everything. And then also we had qualifying the first weekend I was out here, so also the golf, which, and that's quite stressful, your first qualifying. um and all the classes can be quite overwhelming. Like the first week it's like, oh my gosh, it's so much and it's so different to back home, but like within a week or two, like it's just like a habit and you get used to it all.
And Evie, are you studying a particular subject or are you taking different modules with a plan to declare your major at a different time?
So I'm a sports management major, but this semester I haven't had any classes to do sport management. Like I'm taking French, history, maths, English, and PE. So it's just like high school.
Hmm.
But then next semester they start to like you start to have a couple classes related to your major, but still generic ones. So yeah, which is also kind of good because it gives you a time to like talk to other sport management majors or people in your major and see what it's really like, and
Hmm.
also explore other options.
Yeah, it gives you the opportunity to explore, doesn't it? You haven't just chosen that and you've gone in and figured out that actually you really don't like that. So it allows you to thrive in other areas as well. Um, Okay, so it sounds like so far you've had a good experience. You know, there's obviously with every change and transition, there's ups and downs. And it sounds like you've kind of approached that with a really positive mindset, which is good. Um, if you had some top tips for the other golfers who were maybe looking at exploring and applying for a program in America, is there any kind of advice that you would give to them?
Yeah, I would say, I don't think we've touched on it, but the coach is
Hmm.
probably the most important thing
Hmm.
when you're looking at apply and the different unis, um, because they're such a big part of your experience, and finding out how they do qualifying is quite a big thing. So if they if they do qualifying um for like the different spaces, or if it's more coaches pick, because that can be hard when you're a freshman because they tend to not pick freshmen. Um, so coach, and then also having, if it's possible, having someone there that you know, or if you don't, like making a good relationship with someone
Yeah.
quite quickly, or like before you, like on your visit, is important. Just have someone to ask questions.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, those would be my top tips.
Yeah, okay. And just to summarize, how would you summarize your experience, Evie, using 3 words?
Um, Exciting, a bit stressful, but all just a once in a lifetime experience. You just need to like embrace everything because you're only here for 4 years, which in the grand scheme of things is not very long. So yeah,
Yeah,
taking every like experience and opportunity.
yeah, super. Well, Evie, I wish you the best of luck with qualifying at the weekend.
Thank you.
And thanks ever so much for your insights. I'm sure it'll benefit a lot of people moving forward now that you've navigated what that whole journey looks like. So, looking forward to catching up soon. Thanks ever so much for your time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Right.